You join us here in a very special place, the chalet that is the HQ of Jean-Claude Biver, a man who needs no introduction and now the creator of his own brand. We're in the heart of rustic watchmaking Switzerland. Just over there you have Geneva. On my left there's Lake Geneva. Behind us there's Lausanne. You've even got a little Swiss cow in the grounds here, not to mention a nice Swiss train that goes back and forth. We're going to take a look inside this incredible place and discover a bit more about the legend that is Jean-Claude Biver and the incredible watches that he's making now under his own name. Come and join us. My first question for you is, tell us about the future. After a stellar career in the watch industry, which has spanned 50 years, most people will be thinking, I'm going to enjoy my retirement, I'm going to enjoy the life, I'm going to sit in this wonderful Swiss chalet. No, you did something different.
You know, I respect people who enjoy retirement, and that's good, and I'm happy for them. I enjoy my passion, and who and why and how can you put the passion into a pension? How can you retire from a passion? Because when you lose your passion, it's like you lose your heart, you lose your soul, so it's impossible. So I realized that I cannot retire because the watchmaking art had become not a job, but a real passion. And without the watchmaking art, I felt like if something was missing. And that is the main reason why I started again. Second reason, because sometimes in life you need more than one reason. Second reason is my children. I want to give back. Before dying, I want to give back, and I want to transmit my passion. Because the transmission, women, they do it through birth, and we poor men, how can we do it? Not by birth, because we cannot. So we have other options. And one of the options is transfer your passion. And that's what I do.
The expectations were huge because your name is unparalleled. People were expecting a superlative watch. They got a superlative watch, but how did you begin to know where to start? Did you want to create something that had never been seen before? Did you want to focus on the design? Did you want to focus on the name? Did you want to focus on the technology? Where do you begin to create a watch that lives up to the expectation of your name?
We had to begin by many elements. It had to be a phenomenal watch. It had to be a great case. It had to be an incredible quality. It had to be innovative. It had to be creative. It should not be a copy of yesterday. It should be a projection of tomorrow. It should have your soul, etc., etc. So there are many reasons that we have to observe, which we did. So I decided that only the most difficult could be the right way. So we choose different ways and said, oh no, this one is too easy. No, that one, others are doing it. So the way we chose is on purpose one of the most complicated one. And that brought us to a minute repeater. But compared to others, with a carillon, with 3 hammers, with 3 different sounds, plus a tourbillon, plus a micro-rotor, which made it a minute repeater, yes, but totally different from others and much more complicated. That was the start. And I said we should start with the most difficult and then we should climb down. So we start in the Himalaya, Mount Everest, and then later on we go to other mountains. And we want to cover all the mountains. All the 8,000 meter mountains in the world should be mastered by us. But we started with the highest one, which is Mount Everest.
Wow, so you did it the hard way.
We did it the hard way. It's the only way, it was my only option after 50 years. What would people think if I would have chosen an easy way, they would have criticized, after 50 years, look what he achieved. He's just making a simple automatic watch. So we had to choose the most difficult.
And the market recognizes this. The prototype sold for a huge amount of money for a prototype, and you don't even know who bought it.
No, I don't know who bought it. I have no contact. I know only that I owe him my cheese, because as I don't know this person, I don't know the address. I know his first name was Joe. I call him Joe, but that's all I know. And I said to the auction house, we must not forget, I promised him cheese. Now, probably you have sent him the watch. Okay, bravo, thank you. But I need to send him the cheese. But I cannot send cheese to somebody when I don't know his address.
Are you as passionate about cheese as you are about watches?
No, it's a different passion. My passion about watches goes back to 50 years, to 1973. My passion for cheese started probably around 60, also at the same period. I started in 1967 to collect Yquem wine from Bordeaux, and I discovered the cheese of the summer, which has another taste because of the flowers. The cheese from the winter is made with grass that has been dried. The cheese of June and July and August comes from the grass where you have flowers, and the flowers are giving another taste to this cheese. So I discovered this in 1967.
Wow.
So it goes back before my passion for watches, but it never came to the same level, and it never got the same spirituality than the one I have for watches.
Looking back at your very illustrious career, it's hard to know where to start. We can pick out some highlights, obviously, Blancpain, AP, and everything, but some people say that you single-handedly saved the Swiss watch industry from the quartz crisis. Do you agree?
I agree when people are saying positive things about me. And I also agree in the timing. I am certainly not the only one, but one of the first that helped the comeback of the mechanical watch. And I believe from beginning, the first time I saw quartz, I said, but that's not a watch. That's a computer, because it has electricity and a battery. It's like the phenomenal, absolutely great, and I admire, I have 6 or 7. I'm going to buy now the latest one from Apple. But the Apple Watch, it's wrong to call it watch, because it's a miniaturization of the computer. It works like a computer. It has the same functions. And it's a computer to wear under your wrist. So it's an absolutely great product. But it cannot compare with the watchmaking art. Because the watchmaking art is a kind of religion. It's not just technology. And it is a repeat somehow of 300 years. We use in our today's watchmaking art, we use techniques. We sometimes even use tools that the people were using 300 years ago. So it's a culture, it's a philosophy, it's a religion. That's more important than technology, because technology comes and goes. Religion stays forever. And, spirituality is forever. God is forever. So that's a big difference.
We were talking earlier, It's interesting. You're a very spiritual person. Watches have, I think, a spiritual link. They measure the passage of time. And we were saying earlier, I think for you, for me as well, watchmaking is like an alternative religion, because it's through watchmaking that you measure the passage of time and that you create something that lasts forever. You gain your own eternal life through a watch.
Exactly. You get, as you cannot reach 100% eternity while you are alive, only God can do that. You can come close. And in order to come close, you must be at the level of perfection. And then you come close. And once you are close, you are also close to die. And when you die, your art becomes eternal. But as long as you are alive, people have problems to judge your work for eternal. Picasso became eternal after he died, etc. Leonardo da Vinci after he died.
Mozart.
So, Mozart after he died. So it's only afterwards. So as long as you are alive, you try to get close. And one day you might reach it, but then you die. And that's the beauty.
But of course, maybe you've reached it already, because this is what you're wearing on your wrist, because of course Jean-Claude is wearing one of the prototypes, not the one that's sold. One of the prototypes is already the Everest of watches.
Yes, for me it's the Everest, and I love the watch. I wear it all the time, and it fits me in the sense that when I look at it, each time I discover something. I did it, so I should know. But the watch always talks to me, because every day, every minute, there is another shine or another part that I see, and that's the beauty, that's the richness of design.
And that's the irony as well, because you look at your watch to measure the passage of time, but when you have a beautiful watch, you notice this, you notice that, and then suddenly the time is suddenly gone, and you were meant to just be checking the time.
You know, there was an artist, an actress. Her name was, I think, Joan Crawford. She lived around 1920, and she bought a Blancpain watch. And in order to say thank you to Blancpain and to tell them how happy she was, she sent a picture of her, and she wrote with her hand, "Thank you for your watch. I think this is eternity on my wrist." And I saw this picture. I was looking in old stuff. I suddenly saw this picture. And I said, wow, but that's the best advertisement for the watchmaking art. Joan Crawford said, this is eternity in a box.
Where does the future of the Biver brand go? Because you've already started with this Everest. What can we see in years to come from the brand?
So from the brand, as we have 18 high summits that are over 8,000 meters high on planet Earth, it's 18 finished. We have 6 masterpieces in watches. So we have 6 summits. And I would like to have one day all the 6 summits on my desk in a box. So, but how long will it take to achieve this? I think 20 years. And in 20 years, I will be 95. And that would be the best rest for me if I could rest next to the 6 masterpieces.
Wow. Well, incredible. Would you recommend to other people who are maybe sort of like thinking about retirement to do the same as you, to launch a new business, to start again?
Only if they have a passion. Because you need passion to make this sacrifice. There are days, I must be honest, where I say to myself, I was crazy. God damn, I was crazy. And then there are other days I say, wow, I was so lucky to make this decision. So it's not an easy decision, but the only way to make this decision comfortable and not to have regrets is it must be your passion. If it's not your passion, don't touch it.
And as well as this, you've juggled multiple roles. Of course, you've always held many jobs at the same time. Still now, you're mentioning you have the association with Norqain,
Yes.
which I find a very interesting brand. And why are you still doing this when you have such a big project ahead of you?
Because I have this philosophy, I need to give back. And I need to give back not only in the elements that I master, that I know quite well, like the haute horlogerie. I need also to give back to young people who are starting. And Norqain is a young brand driven by young people, dynamic people, people that are respectful of the art. And I believe in Norqain, and I said, I have to express my belief by helping them. And that's what I did.
That is fantastic. Of course, the brands you've been associated with in the past are now huge, but you've rescued them. Blancpain was about to die.
Yes, it was dead, in fact. It was already dead. Blancpain, when I bought it in 1981, had stopped to be active in 1959. So it was more than 20 years out of business. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you rescued them. You gave life back.
Yes.
And this is part of your notion of eternity.
Yes.
To give life back to brands which are dead, to give something back to an industry that at the time was there.
Yeah, that's what that is my personal philosophy, and that is the reason behind the fact that I still engaged, I'm still motivated, and I still have huge pleasure and satisfaction to work in my art.
Do you have any time off?
If I have any time off, not too much. But, you don't need time off when you are in your passion, because then you hate the time off. It's like sometimes I say, oh no, the day is already finished. Oh, tomorrow is a holiday. I say, no, shit, tomorrow is a holiday. I respect for many people that is great. For me, quite often I say, oh no. So it's because I love my job. That's so easy.
Jean-Claude Biver, thank you so much for making the time. Thank you so much for everything you've done for the industry.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased you say that, and it makes me happy. Thank you.